All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your nightly watch list. This is going to be for March 27th, 2019. Today's March 26th. And as always, I want you to post your watch list in the comments. I want to hear what you guys are looking at, contribute, be in the discussion. And also, if anything develops or changes pre-market, if anything comes out, we are going to be talking about this all on the live stream. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's youtube.com/thestockmarket. The channel's pinned below in the comments. It's in the corner, the link in the description, all that. And I think I'm going to go live in an hour or two from now. So I think we're going to be live here tonight. You guys asked for it on the stream. We had to shout out this stream. Let's go. It was awesome. So make sure you guys are there in the morning. If any of this stuff develops, the market's been crazy. So let's get to it. A lot of the same plays as last time, but I do have a new set of a lot of other stuff that we need to watch. We need to understand what's been driving the markets. I want to talk about some of that. And then also setting up for earnings and the potentially what can happen. So I actually have EA right here, but that's not the first one. I want to talk about Hunter Maritime. I think this is a fun, good one to start out with. If you guys saw this hunt, this thing went out of nowhere. I even did some research. There's articles talking about this at $9. It literally got halted many times. Somebody brought it on stream at like $30 today. And it went up to it went crazy after it got halted, but I'm going to keep an eye out for this. If a lot of these little pumpers and these people online, you guys saw what happened to BPTH and some of those other ones really not too long ago. So if you see anybody pick up on that, I think that could be interesting. And I said I was going to do it. I might do it tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. I'll throw in $100. I'll throw in $1. I mean, not $1. One share, $100 on it. If it goes crazy, it goes crazy. But be careful trying to go nuts on this and playing that, because these it's dangerous. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. Again, if you want to gamble on it, I'm going to at least put in, not at least, I don't even know. I might not, again, that might even be stupid, but we're going to see. So come on stream. We're going to be watching that. I think that'll be interesting. But now this is obviously one that's going to come up. We've talked Boeing, but there's two things that come up with it. One, after hours, there was that issue with the 737 in Orlando, but honestly, it dropped. That was weakness. I don't know if that's going to have an effect. Tomorrow, there is going to be a hearing, apparently. So we're going to get some info or a report or some sort of thing, but that could affect Boeing. And again, it breaking after hours, kind of showing some of that weakness if there was an event, even though they've kind of said some issues about the plane. But that's going to develop. However, the key here now with Boeing is Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and then even NOC. All of these are defense stocks, and they all moved in tandem. So it seemed like today Boeing's kind of normalizing, and I think the industry's all catching up with it. And so watch those. All those are great now because you could kind of get a lower volatility, a big play if defense gets pulled down, and it could be cheaper at least than Boeing. But I like the sauce Boeing has in that, and what I mean is the IV's been dropping. The contracts have been going down. Here's that. I sold that put. Remember, I covered that call. Actually, I took a gain on that. But that Boeing, I'm up 25% on it. That means the puts are 25% cheaper, really, than that was. I sold it on the second day of that downturn. So that's going to be interesting. But put Boeing on your list. And now this one, I think we have to watch this. Apple and Qualcomm. This is a catalyst event. We have the news behind it. It is literally Apple in the patent thing. So we already know the news and it's having an effect. Tomorrow is going to be watching where they open up at. I want to know how they're going to move. Are they going to move in tandem? Are they going to move inversely? But the fact is, I even said it today and I'm kind of rethinking it on stream. I said wait for the calls, but the calls got cheaper. They were all really expensive. But this move right here, it's kind of deceptive, but that's like a $2 move. So you could catch some stuff, but come Thursday, Friday, these could be good. So be careful trying to scoop up the calls right away. But in general, Apple could go up or down a lot from here. It could either give up more depending on how investors interpret this. And, there is some of that feedback from the event. But watch that. But also in tandem, too, if Apple doesn't necessarily drop or they do an inverse, I think Qualcomm could be good. I talked about this on stream as well. I think Qualcomm looks strong. It did the same exact thing as this. It was a different case that happened Friday, like 1 or 2 Fridays ago, and it shot up, but it continued from there. However, that was on a Friday, so I think this is happening in the middle of the week. It's good. It is more negative for Apple because of what the reports of what the judge said, but in general, I think Qualcomm's going to get a play. And then now also in the chip makers and NVIDIA, and I made a call on here Today I did this on stream. I got the March 29th. This was a weekly. It was a $20, $27 for a 187.50. And why NVIDIA held up the most, and this is related now to Qualcomm, watch the chip makers that gained off of Qualcomm. And if Qualcomm goes up and lead the way, specifically AMD and Micron, because those were lagging. But throughout the whole while, NVIDIA held up pretty strong. The options finally came down, and you know why? I usually buy them on NVIDIA. If you guys have been coming to the stream, you know I love NVIDIA, man. That's the cult stock right there, especially with the options. But usually on a weekly basis, the contract had about 4 days. You know, I got it at the end of the day, so technically 3 days. But usually if I'm getting, it was $12 out of the money for $30, where usually I like to go $6 out of the money for about $50, $60. And is that what it closed at? 76. It was right out there. So pretty much I usually would have struck here, but you know, this one's a little further out of the money. The fact NVIDIA held, I think it could be good. But again, I'm saying for the watch list, watch NVIDIA in relation to Qualcomm and see if it gets any sort of sympathy play. And again, even in general, the option chain is pricing in the bigger moves now, smaller because it has hit the tops and rejected a few times. So there's that. Now, even coming into earnings, Netflix. I think Netflix has been interesting. I want to see if it's going to have any negative effect, because it did kind of do what Roku did, and you guys could watch Roku. And I even think Roku, Square, Wayfair, those are the weird stocks that have a weird rotation, low float, and volatility. You could put those as like a side watch list. But in general, though, Netflix, the streaming thing is one thing, but in general, they seem to be the strongest out of the FANG. They've held up. Their earnings is in 3 weeks, 21 days. So just keep your eye out for that. And even the May contracts, a lot of them are expensive. The calls got a little cheaper, so I'm just going to be keeping my eye out for that. Or if there's any big developments with it, it's been really quiet from Netflix. And if anything happens from there, the options are holding somewhat option premium, and that's what I'm saying though too. If it does start to pick up in any direction, you want to make sure you're on there quick before the option premium starts to settle in, because it's approaching. I want to make sure you guys don't forget that. We are going to be talking about that a lot. So there's that. Another thing of just plays I would look at. FedEx is another one I have on there I wanted to put up for you guys. FedEx brought the market up. So again, watch now too. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. The market moved today on rates. You know, that was the driving factor between putting the market up and down a lot. So watch out for the rates, because that is actually going to have an effect. So the bank stocks, we saw Wells Fargo actually closed up. Bank of America was in the middle, and Goldman it closed mid there. I'd watch those, and maybe even Thursday, Fridays they get cheaper, or if they have an automatic gap. But FedEx, that was my long transition into telling you guys about FedEx, because financials and transports, if those start to come up with the small caps, that could hold the market up for a pretty good amount. And then FedEx report, FedEx, it came up and it really outperformed the market today. But now also watch UPS. UPS is having their earnings, and that's going to be coming out. They didn't do as bad last time, but we saw what FedEx guided bad last time. They guided bad this time. They got killed. So I think that could have an effect. So and UPS is fairly cheap. And I think my last two, or I got three. I got McDonald's. You guys know about that, and we've been putting that on the list. I want to make sure you guys are following that. My thing with this, and I can show you guys on the option chain here, and hopefully you guys like this. I want a thumbs up, man. I'm trying to, and let me know, what do you guys think if you've watched this far? What do you think about actually going through the option chain? Do you like that with me, giving you the watch list and kind of showing you the contracts, But again, I'm not saying specifically watch these contracts, but I'm trying to help give you an idea here. But even then with the McDonald's calls, I like them, but as you see here, let me put up like a 1 or 2 day. They opened at 20. You could have got them at 21 cents yesterday. They would have went up to 80 cents this morning. These are just on the random 190s. I'm clicking on a random contract, but you see it's barely above yesterday's price. So McDonald's had a big move, but it got destroyed by the theta and not really moving up too much. So what I'm saying with that is hold on and wait for it. Wait till it becomes cheaper on the prices. Once McDonald's becomes cheaper than it has been all week for the weeklies and even the next week and so on, wait till some of that premium drops, and then Microsoft is going to be the good one. Microsoft, I meant McDonald's, but that leads to the other one, Microsoft. So if Apple is weak, but we still see if Apple and Qualcomm do their own thing and they just go in their own little segment or whatever, and they kind of get that pull, but the market goes up, watch Microsoft even then too. If the market goes down, Microsoft's kind of been stalling out here near the high, so it could either set a new high, continue that momentum, or who knows if it comes down a little bit. But I like Microsoft in general. The options are pretty cheaply priced. They're getting around a pretty affordable prices. So I'd watch for there. And then lastly, I think this is something, it moved the market today. Biogen, that was a big jump. They announced that buyback. It didn't really do much the other day. Literally nothing. It's crazy. You can't even see it on the longer side of the longer duration, but that's a big move. If it does break out, there is some upside. There is a lot of speculation on the value of that stock after they backed out of that one drug not too long, literally 4 or 5 days ago. So that's going to be interesting to watch, but that's it, man. Tell me what you guys think. It's a lot to digest, straight to the point. I better see you on stream tomorrow morning. Drop a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And again, put your watch list. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the morning. Peace. Oh, wait, and tonight. Let's go.